Hey Dubbers, and welcome back to another Dab 2000 video.
Hello.
There's Junior. Today is the third and final Office video that I will be ranking. Today, I will be giving you guys my top 10 favorite episodes in The Office. Now, this was really hard because there's a lot of great episodes in The Office, but I always thought, I just think I gotta do this. I gotta tell you guys what my top 10 favorite episodes are. Alright, I'm gonna hit you guys with some honorable mentions because there was so much I could have picked from. We have the finale, part 1 and 2. I just think that the finale was well deserved and it was pretty good how they did it. And I always liked how it ended and yeah. And then, this might be unpopular, I have the surplus, too, on honorable mentions. I don't know why, I always liked when they were fighting against, should they get a new copier or new chairs. And I don't know, I just always thought that was kind of an enjoyable episode to me. I only had 2 honorable mentions, so let's get started into the top 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Goodbye Toby, part 1 and part 2. Because I just think part 1 and part 2 wouldn't make sense because, you know, they're basically just the same episode, just longer. So, I put Goodbye Toby here. It's just such a funny episode, which, Toby leaves, and it's the happiest day of Michael's life that Toby is going to be gone. And I just think this episode's so funny. I like how this is our introduction to Holly, which, if you watch my character ranking, I'm not too crazy about Holly, but very, very important to this show. So, I still think this is a good episode. I think these 2 episodes are very good. Alright, coming in at number 9, we have Goodbye Michael, part 1 and part 2. Now, like I said, I'm gonna keep both parts because it's just a longer. I just think this was a perfect way to end off Michael Scott's journey in this show. And you got good dialogue. It's not really that funny, it's more sad because we got interactions between every single character in this show, and it's just so heartfelt and so good. So that's why it had to make my top 10. Alright, coming in at number 8, we have Survivor Man. Now, I almost didn't add Survivor Man. I kind of forgot about it until I was talking with some people, and they reminded me of Survivor Man. And I forgot, and then I rewatched Survivor Man, and I forgot how good this episode is. Because, of course, Toby goes to a camping trip with Ryan, and Michael wasn't invited, so he's all mad. So he takes Dwight and Michael and Dwight go in a car. He goes in the middle of the woods and try to survive. And he's not really the best at it. I mean, he's using his pants as a tent and as other stuff. It's just a really funny episode. And then it ends off funny when he eats mushrooms. And Dwight has to get the mushrooms out of his mouth. It's a really funny episode. Alright, coming in at number 7, we have The Fun Run, part 1 and part 2. Now, I think The Fun Run is probably by far the most times I've rewatched. This is the most episodes I've rewatched, by far. This episode is always playing, and I've seen it so many times. And I think this is the most rewatched episode I've ever seen. And that's part of the reason why it's in my top 10. And it's also just really funny because it starts off with Michael hitting Meredith in his car. And he said, "I'm a savior because she had rabies." And it's just really funny. And I think when they actually run, it's just so funny of what a lot of people do, like Stanley and some other guys. I kind of forget, Stanley and maybe Kevin. Maybe not Kevin. They go to a restaurant, and then Andy's got sensitive nipples. It's just really, really funny. and that's why it makes it right here. All right, coming in at number 6, we have Murder. Now, I know this is a very, very unpopular opinion right here, but I liked the Murder, and I liked how, like, the branch might have been closing, everyone's stressed, and then Michael brings out a game of murder mystery. And I recently just watched this episode, and I thought it was still great. I thought this episode was really funny, and I thought it was really good. I just liked a lot of elements to it. I liked, like, some people were in the office working, and then the other people are there playing the game. I just thought this was a really funny episode, and I don't really know why some people don't really like this episode. I personally enjoyed this episode. Alright, coming out at number 5, we have Stairgeddon. Now, I did mention this in my other 2 videos, and I've said, again, this is the best episode in Season 9 by far. And, you know, it's kind of weird to say that an episode from Season 9 made my top 10 because in my seasons ranking, Season 9 was my least favorite season. So, it's kind of weird to see this here, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Like, I liked how Dwight and Clark have to push Stanley down the stairs. And it's just so funny because I think Dwight, like, shoots him with a tranquilizer gun. Not tranquilizer gun, like a tranquilizer dart. It's very funny, and then it ends really funny where he puts a tranquilizer dart back in his leg, and they have to figure out how to bring him back up the stairs. I just think this is a really funny episode, so that's why it makes my top 10. Alright, coming in at number 4, we have The Injury. Michael Scott steps on a Foreman grill and burns his foot because he always likes the smell of bacon in the morning. It is so funny. I mean, he uses crutches, and then it just starts off funny with him on the phone, and he's like, I need help, please. It's just so funny. I always loved this episode, and I think this episode is one of the best, and he thinks he's, like, very injured, and he's just like, you guys have to treat me well. So he actually brings in, he has a meeting about, like, what it's like to have an injury that's really bad, and it goes too far. Like always, Michael goes too far of whatever he does, but it is so funny, and that's why it comes in at number 4. Okay, coming in at number 3, we have Branch Wars. Now, I've always loved this episode when they're driving in a car and they're going to see I forget her name, I am sorry, but they go to another branch and they sneak in, and it's really funny because Jim, Michael, and Dwight have to dress up, and they go to steal a printer because because this branch is stealing Stanley Hudson from them, and it just makes for some really funny moments, and I've just always loved this episode, so that's why it comes in at number 3. Alright, coming in at number 2, we have The Fire, and I've always thought, I told you guys this in my seasons ranking and all that, I love this episode. This episode made me really like The Office. Now, I've always thought I liked how, like, Jim is talking to all the people, playing games like he always does, and it makes for some funny conversations. And then Michael is liking Ryan more than Dwight, so Dwight goes up in the office when there is a fire and tries to find Michael's cell phone, which is really just in his pocket coat. That's not my pocket coat. This is it. In his pocket thing the whole time. And it's just really funny because then he comes out and then sings the song about Ryan started the fire. It's just so good. But I think there's one truly best episode in The Office. Coming in at number 1, we have The Dinner Party. Now, I've always loved this episode. This is one of the best episodes. I think it is the best episode of The Office. And it's barely even in The Office. It's there for like a couple minutes in the first couple minutes of The Office where he kind of tricks them so Pam and Jim can have a dinner party with Jan and Michael. And it's so uncomfortable, but it's so funny. It's funny when they play charades. I think this is one of the funnier episodes. I think this is one of the... It's just so good. And that's why it comes in at number 1. Oh, what do you guys think of my top 10 favorite episodes of The Office? Down below in the comment section. What is your top 10 favorite episodes? Down below in the comment section. I will take you guys on another Dab 2000 video and another Dab 2000 ranking. Goodbye, Dabbers.